And we're live. Gonna hit
Hello,
play.
hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, you know, just hit the.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Flormata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
They don't have a dunce cap for the idiot, so I'm just going to put the French beret
close
on.
Enough.
Yeah,
right.
This one.
Well, since we didn't have the placard thing as we normally do, I'm just going to share this, and it's the new podcast cover. So I'll just throw that up there on the screen.
Hey, look at that!
And anybody who's watching the video can see the upside down Dan version of Earl and the Idiot. All right,
Love it.
There we go. So there's a new podcast cover. We're going to use that for covers and make video and make this all fancy.
We can't start looking too professional, or people will start expecting more of us.
There you go. You never know. We'll see how that goes.
The crappy title card lowers expectations to a point where we can exceed them.
Oh, there you go. I guess that's true. You ever watched that Mad TV Lowered Expectations?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, as a young man just entering the dating scene at the time, it was very disturbing to me.
Oh no. So it just messed right up. You're like, no, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not going down that path. Hello, Happy New Year, Earl.
Hey, Happy New Year, Dan. Man, this is going to be fun for the next run here. We'll make some new episodes.
I'm excited. Did you have a good holiday?
Absolutely. Thank you for the gift, by the way. I see you have a twin gift in the background there.
We now have matching stuffed lilies.
There you go. I actually registered a domain name, lilythebirdie.com. So
there you go. I was gonna say I want to do an episode about Lily because I know you're launching Lily as an online entity, as an influencer, a bird influencer.
There you go. Like because we're actually following all the best practices of influencers for the bird. Yeah. Let's just see how it goes. We watched this other bird channel that had like 10 million views over the course of a year. I'm like, holy cow! So I think I can get at least half that. So there you go.
Nice. And I love the idea you were saying you're going to have your kids do it so they learn best practices for internet marketing.
Yeah, funny enough, that's what we're going to get them to do. And if they can do, I guess like 20, 30 grand a year off of that business thing, that pays for their car, that pays for their gas, that pays for their insurance, blah blah blah.
Pays for Lily's vet bills.
Lily's vet bills and bird seeds and toys.
Nice. She'll have the finest of toys. This is just an excuse because I want you to bring Lily onto the show one of these days. But I think it'll be an interesting topic. And
sure, I'll just do the show upstairs, and we'll have Lily fly on my shoulder like she does in all the other meetings I do.
Perfect. I love it.
So
you had a good holiday. You can tell I had a good holiday because you can see how much puffier my face is.
Oh no!
I've deposited Christmas cheer here under the cheeks.
Excellent.
A little bit on the under the chin, on the cheeks. So it was all good. I managed to gain 13 pounds over the holidays. Can you believe that?
Impressive. Yeah, I was gained impressed. 10, then lost 10. So I'm net back to zero again. So
you've already lost your holiday weight.
Third. Yeah. So, but I did eat like an absolute pig. So I'm just like, nope, this is not healthy at all. Like, look at all the carbs. But carbs don't count on the holidays apparently.
Carbs don't count. But it was weird because they don't count on the holidays. But then January 2nd, when you finally step on the scale, they suddenly count for a lot. I've discovered.
Yeah, so I just negated it by doing some fitness stuff and drinking a crap ton of water. I didn't realize how much water you have to drink to offset all the bad things.
Oh my God, yeah, I'm working on that, but that's another show. So new year, new business. This is new business. Let me first, before we get into that, say welcome to Earl and the Idiot. I am here as your resident idiot. My job is to ask the stupid questions to get the smart answers, because you never know if you don't ask, right?
That's pretty much it. If you don't ask, the answer is no, and there you go. So just ask away, and you'll never know what you're going to find out.
Ask away. So if you're concerned about looking like an idiot, to get the important answers, I'm here to be the idiot for you. I have no shame. This is perfect for me.
You can just direct message Dan. Just find him on LinkedIn, find him on Facebook.
Can you ask a stupid question for me? You got it.
Absolutely. We will totally accept questions from the outside, because this
bet.
is where we get most of our stuff from anyway. We just grab the stuff from the outside and go, oh yeah, let's pick this for our theme today.
Yeah.
But, you can moderate that.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be the catch-all. So, like I said, new year, new business. That's our episode title, our theme for today. We want to talk about the idea of starting a business from scratch, because mostly what we've been talking about is how to improve your current business, but maybe there's those listening who want to start a new one, and they'll have questions, and on their behalf I have questions, and they're really dumb ones. And I noticed, I was thinking about this topic before we started, and I noticed in the show notes today you had the exact question I wanted to ask. Well, you've answered it in the show notes, but I'll ask it. Should you start a business because it's something you love, or because it's a good business idea?
So that's a really good that's a really good question. Don't do a business around something you love, because if it's the only reason you're trying to do this thing that you love to and turn it into a business, you will soon no longer love that thing, right? So
I'll interrupt before you get into your answer. I'll just tell this little story that I've heard, and I love this story. A guy was obsessed with French cooking, and it's sort of a guy I know through a guy I know, right. And he wanted to start a French restaurant serving fine French cuisine, and this was his obsession, his passion in life,
right?
And he finally found a restaurant that he could release or buy or whatever it was, and set up a whole French restaurant there serving fine French cuisine, and put like, I don't know, $200,000 worth of wine in the wine cellar in the basement.
Right.
It was an industrial area across the street from a factory.
And they all eat fine French food.
They all eat fine. Yeah.
That's what you have for lunch at a factory. Escargot.
Exactly. Your half an hour lunch break, and you're a working class fella. You definitely want to go across the street at a appointment only, $30 an entree, $60 an entree, French cuisine. It's definitely what they're after. So that didn't work out. Long story short, his passions did not work out. But please amplify on the concept here.
Well, okay, so don't do what you love to turn it into a business, right? Because if you do that, you're going to fall out of love with it very quickly, right? Like, you do what you love because you love to do what you love, and then figure out a business that suits the business end of the equation, right? But make sure that you don't, for the business portion, you don't actually have to love it, right? You just have to be able to, there's got to be some longevity into it, right? If you're going to build something and it's just going to piss you off after 3 months, your business isn't going to last very long, right?
Yeah, you should
do this because it makes lots and lots of money.
You shouldn't necessarily do what you love, but you also shouldn't do what you hate either.
Well, no, don't do what you hate, but don't try to take what you love and turn that into a business for the sake of turning it into a business, right? Keep what you love. Like I love playing piano. It relaxes me. I like martial arts. It relaxes me. Those are the two things I like to do. But I have not turned either of them into a business, because the moment I feel like I do, I feel like it's just gonna sully the experience of this thing that I enjoyed, right? And so unless there's something in it that I can truly relate to and create and build, right? So there's this you want to learn to love what you do. So figure out what it is that you want to do for a business first, right? And we'll get to that question in a second. But once you figure out what it is you want to do, don't let the it's not my passion or it's not my whatever take over your life. Use the business, build the system, create the machine, and then use the money to then go do what you love, right? So back when I first started business, my wife and I made a pact. And the pact was, hey, we promised each other one day we'd learn how to ride a motorcycle, right? And we were just talking. It's like, okay, we're going to Hawaii this week. We're going to Vegas this week. Okay, we're done. Okay, we're this week. There's a bit of a lull. Hey, what are we doing this week? Nothing. And so it's like, go ride motorcycles? Like, sure. So we bought 2 motorcycles, and we got my motorcycle lessons, and we both got motorcycle licenses, and we learned how to ride motorcycles. I mean, that was our hobby for the summer. And so it's funny because I bring it up to, I just sold the motorcycle. It was sitting in the back doing nothing for a while. We need bigger motorcycles because the ones that we bought were like baby ones, and it's like, I think my lawnmower has more horsepower than this. So yeah, the next step will be to eventually buy bigger ones. But yeah, so I didn't turn the motorcycle into a business, right? I'm a big foodie. Never turned that into a business. I do make money off of it, but I never turned it into like a hardcore business because it'll affect the fact that I love it, and I do it because I would have done it even without the money, right? So don't turn what you love into a business. It's terrible advice. Go figure out what you're good at. Go figure out something else that you're good at that people value.
Yeah.
Turn that into a business, and then make it a machine, and then use the excess money to then go do what you love. Right. So we love to travel. We love to eat. That's what we do with the excess money now. Right. And anybody who follows me on social media sees all the crazy food I post. There you go. Right. That's what we use the excess money on. Right. So we've been trying to find a hobby for friggin' years to do together. And the one thing we only like doing together is eating. So I was like, all right, I guess that's our hobby. So,
so as far as, okay, so there's the fact of you don't want to turn what you love into something that you hate.
Yeah.
I remember I heard about a guy whose job was, I think he oversees continuity of the Star Wars universe.
Right.
I mean, his job is to like immerse himself in Star Wars culture, and even that he's like, it gets annoying after a while, even as much as he loves Star Wars.
Dealing with like the super fans are like, well, no, this happened for this, and this happened for this, and then this is no longer canon, and then this is all now fake now, blah blah blah. And I'm like, forehead slap. It takes what you love and it sets it on fire, right?
We don't want to go down the Star Wars road. We'll talk the rest of the day about that. We have to.
I will weep online.
We got to figure out a way to. We got to figure out a way to discuss Star Wars as a business subject.
That could be a fun topic. But
absolutely. Keeping the show on the road here, almost literally. How often do you find that in addition to doing what you love, destroying what you love, how often do you find people pursuing their passions, even though there isn't a really sound business case for it?
Well, there's a thing that I utilize, right? And there's a really good book called Good to Great. And there's 3 circles that overlap as a Venn diagram, right? So there's 3 overlapping circles. The first circle is what's something that you enjoy, that you enjoy. You don't necessarily have to love it. You just have to not hate it, right? Because if you're waking up every day doing this thing and you hate it, the business ain't going to go very far. You're going to be dragging your heels every time you get into this, right? So something that you enjoy, right? But you don't necessarily have to love it. Next thing is you got to be good at this thing, right? So what can you be the best at in the world? So I know one of our previous topics, we talked about niching down, right? And like there's an SEO guy. He only does gyms. There's another SEO guy.
Oh, gyms?
Gyms. Yeah, he only does gyms, fitness stuff, and anything in the medical kind of like healthy type space, right? So, the smoking tobacco company goes, hey, we heard you're really good at ranking stuff. He's like, nope, go away, right? So he only does gyms, he only does health-related niche things, right? And there's another one who only does SEO for hearing aids.
Oh, my Lord.
That's it. He only does SEO for hearing. I'm like, that's a weird-ass niche. He makes millions of dollars. Right? Because hearing aids have like 1,000% margin. I'm like, that's crazy. And so, if you niche down and get real specific, so back to the concentric circles, like we got the Venn diagram circles, something that you enjoy, something that you can be the best in the world at, right? So
best in the world seems like a high bar.
You just keep niching down until it becomes easy.
Oh my God.
Right. So you niche down deep enough. Well, guess what? You can be the best in the world at anything as long as it's niche enough, right?
All right.
So, I am the best divorce lawyer website maker, right?
Yeah.
Well, and then every divorce lawyer in the world comes. You don't need that many divorce lawyer clients to build websites for and then do SEO for to make a living, right? And because all of your examples, all of your case studies, all of your everything is around that one particular subject, every case study that you do screams to your target market saying, hey, you should probably hire me because I've done this a million times. Right. Yeah. And then last but not least, the damn thing has to make money. People have to want to trade money for it. So I'll give you a terrific example of a terrible example.
Okay? Oh yes, I love these. These are my favorite.
Terrific example of terrible example. How much money are you going to make writing resumes?
Some, just lots, none.
Some, yeah. But you're never going to make a fortune doing it. Why? Because the people who want the resumes are looking for jobs. If you're looking for jobs, how much money do they have? Probably not a lot, because they're looking for jobs.
Right. Yeah.
So when you put two and two together, you're like, okay, well, I'm helping people get work, right? But if I niche down, so let's just talk about niching that down, right? If I'm only specifically helping executives get jobs, and I'm a headhunter for executive placement, and I'm making 20% of the spiff or whatever they're making, and I'm placing a $300,000 job, every time I swing one of those, it's 60 grand, right? So again, niche down till you are the best in the world at it. Make sure that the people that you're going after actually have the funds to pay you, right?
Yeah, and want to pay for the thing.
Right? If I could pay someone $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 and get guaranteed a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 position, you bet I'm going to do that, right? That's a great ROI for what I'm going to spend it on, right? So there you go.
My favorite bad business example is from Dragon's Den in the UK version. This woman went to stay at a European hotel. And the shower, like, because some of these are like old bathtubs or whatever, retrofitted, they're not like modern fixtures,
right?
And there was a shower head. There was like a bathtub with a shower head, but the shower head was like rested on a little cradle.
Okay.
And you had to pick it up and hold it to shower yourself with.
All right.
Okay. She came up with a suction cup mechanism where you could suction cup it to the wall and then hook the shower head on it. So then you could just have a normal shower without having to hold it with your hand.
Or you could just buy a hook and a normal shower.
Yeah, buy like a hook from the dollar store. But like the idea was, while you're traveling, if you happen to stay in a hotel that doesn't have the thing on the wall.
That's so specific.
It's so specific. I mean, that's maybe too much niching down.
You can niche down too far. Like I'm only going to sell left-handed garden gnomes.
Yeah.
Well, what? It gets a little too specific.
I'm going to sell left-handed garden gnomes just to spite you. I think there's a market for that. But yeah, so you have to. So you'd be carrying this big piece of equipment, taking up space in your luggage, for the one time where you happen to be in a place where, first of all, the shower, it's that kind of shower setup, not the other kind.
Yeah.
And that the wall accepts a suction cup. It could be like brick or wood or something, and you can put a suction cup on it. So it's like, anyway, I digress.
Yeah, you can niche down too hard, and then it's completely useless at that point. There is a certain line in the sand where you can niche down so specific that no one want your damn thing, right? Like, what do you do? I teach elephants how to roller skate specifically.
Yeah,
and we teach them how to turn left. That's too niche, right?
So, okay, so what questions should you ask yourself when you're looking at these ideas? I feel like we're not going to get much past the idea of how to pick what business you're in, and let alone actually starting it up. But it's a tough thing to pick. Like, what do you want to go after? And so does and obviously important to do at the outset.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So there's a quick and dirty way to do it. Quick and dirty. So there's a thing called the ask method. Ask method. And I think I've shown this on the show before, but there's 4 weird things that you put into the system, and you use Google Trends. And what you do is you put these 4 particular words into Google Trends, and it'll let you know whether or not your market is too difficult to get into or not.
You told me these things before, and I lost track of them, so I'm going to write them down this time. It was awesome.
You lost track of them. It's all good. Well, I know that. So what I'll do is I'll put it on screen, show people what it looks like. But for those of you who are listening in who can't see the screen right now, I'll also narrate it so you know what the hell I'm talking about. So I'm going to go to trends.google.com. That's the first thing you're going to do. Go to trends.google.com. Maybe we'll put the link to Google Trends in the show notes. And the things you're going to look up, and I'll put this on screen now so people can see my screen right here, and this is just going to be the weirdest thing you've ever searched, right? The first one is going to be called beekeeping. People are like, what? Why beekeeping? You'll see in a second. So what you want to do is you want to throw beekeeping in there. You want to change this to whatever you want to search for. I'm going to search for worldwide. And what you want to do is you want to go to 5 years. So you have 5 years of data, right? And then you're going to compare it against a couple other ones. The next one is leadership
Oh, no.
skills.
Beekeeping is downtrending for the last 5 years. Is that because the colonies are dying off?
Maybe.
Huh.
That is an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one's
Save
going to
the
be
bees.
improve memory.
So sorry. I think beekeeping. I opened my big
Beekeeping,
idiot mouth.
Leadership skills,
and improve memory.
Improve memory, and then the last one is orchid care. So you'll see that there's this big crazy graph that's all over the place, and over the last 5 years, that shows, this is where these particular words are at. And what you want to do is you want to pick something. So let's just pick anything out of the blue, and I'll leave that to you. Pick something.
Watchmaking.
Someone typed watchmaking in here. And what you're going to do is you're going to see the difference. So watchmaking is actually perfect. As long as it fits within the lines of these categories, this tells me a couple of things. There's enough search volume that people give a damn. That means people are actually looking for watchmaking. Of all things, people are looking for watchmaking. Who knew, right? It's a small enough market that you'll be able to penetrate it without spending a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
But it's big enough that people actually care. So you'll actually have enough money to be making in the watchmaking space. So who knew, right? So now all this does is tells you that there's an inlaid interest in people wanting to know more about whatever this is. So what I'll do is
they might not be looking for a watchmaker. They might be wanting to start watchmaking themselves or something.
Right, exactly. So maybe it's watchmaking, the actual act of making watches. Maybe it's watchmaking courses where they learn how to make watches. Who knows? But that's what they're searching for. I'm going to put the word shoes in here for a second. Yeah. This is what it looks like for a ridiculous search term. So shoes, obviously shoes is a big search term. And you'll notice that it just goes straight to the moon. All the other lines collapse into like one flat line, and there's nothing there. This tells me that to compete for this particular word, it's too difficult to enter. And realize you're going up against Nike, Reebok, right? Puma, right? These giant name brands for the word shoes. So people rank it and the shoe stores that sell them all, right? So people sell a crap ton of shoes because people need shoes. So this is why we go through this process. And the process, what it does is it shows you what's possible and what's probable. Like what do I have a chance in heck of getting into, right? Do people care about this? And this is only if you care about doing this thing online, right? So if you want to promote something online, if you're going to promote, like say a French restaurant, pick a better location than across the industrial space, and you still have to run all the numbers. Like I know a couple of like super high-end iron chefs that specialize in French food who ran their restaurants into the ground because they can't do math. Right? They're an excellent chef. But every time they sell that particular dish, because they don't hold back on the level of ingredients, like it's real truffle and real this and real that. And so because they're not holding back on the ingredients, they're not doing the math and the business math. I mean, so they have the best dish you've ever had in your life, but they lose money every time they sell that dish. And then they wonder what the restaurant goes under, right? So again, it's yes, that's what they love. What ended up happening is that chef ended up losing his restaurant. The restaurant ended up going bankrupt. And what happened is he got a job working for a major chain, and now he's their head chef and creates the new dishes for that major chain. Right? I don't want to name names because it's local, but yeah. So because of that, they're still doing something they enjoy. It's not their true passion because it's not necessarily French food all the time, but people are willing to pay for it. They're going to make a lot of money being the head chef because they're really good at what they do. But somebody else is in charge of the numbers. Somebody else is in charge of the finance. Somebody else is in charge of all the other stuff. His only function here is to cook, come up with really good dishes that people enjoy, and that's it. Right?
Somebody else is in charge of the parts that clearly were not his forte.
Absolutely. No one is good at everything, right? If you ask me to cook, I might burn the house down by accident, right? You ask me to paint, your house will end up crooked somehow, right? So don't
paint the house off balance.
Yeah, there's just certain things that I can't do, right? So I finally decided, you know what, Earl shouldn't work with his hands, right?
I don't know why it surprises me that you're not good at cooking. I somehow, I guess you post so many pictures of food. I just kind of assumed through osmosis you'd absorbed the skills of cooking.
Sadly, no. I mean, I cook with my credit card. Like, but during the pandemic, funny enough, we had all those cook at home kit things.
Oh, a meal like HelloFresh or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we did that too.
You get one of those things, and here's all the ingredients, and here's some instructions, and somehow we didn't burn the house down. And my wife actually ate dinner, and it was like, she's like, "Wow, you actually made something." I'm like, "Hey, this is great." So the kids and I learned how to cook, since the kids are now comfortable with their way around the kitchen, and I'm no longer scared to make anything other than an egg. So
those things are actually pretty cool. I like those things.
So and they're tasty. Some of those dinners were pretty good. So we kept the recipe cards, and we'll use them later. But there you go.
Okay, so here's maybe
should Earl start a restaurant? No.
Just start a restaurant, but order everything from HelloFresh.
There you go.
You can call it the HelloFreshtaurant.
Nice.
So we should interject here. You're saying that multiple streams of income is terrible advice. So maybe this is for someone who's listening to this who already has a business and thinks they're going to start another one. Why is this bad advice? I hear it so often. What's wrong with this?
Multiple streams of income is terrible advice because most people screw up one business. So you're telling me that you have enough focus, that your focus has focus, that businesses have something like a 90-something% failure rate within 5 years. So, and they only do one thing. And you're going to tell me you're going to do 7 things and be successful at all of them and make multiple streams? No, the answer is no, absolutely not. Anybody who's made any significant amount of income, and like I mean real actual streams of income, not like $7, $10 here and there from your friendly neighborhood multi-level marketing company, where you swear up and down you're going to be rich, but you've made a grand whopping $300 over the course of 5 years, right? Like that's not going to get you rich, right? And
for those of you who want to know more about multi-level marketing, see our earlier episode about multi-level marketing.
Exactly. And I'm not knocking multi-level marketing. It's just that as a business model perspective, the margins aren't strong enough. So, but going against that whole multiple streams of income thing, most people screw up one, right? So get really damn good at one, right? Because what happens is the second business usually eats the first business, right? So you got one business up and running, it's doing all right. You make another one, but that one sucks because you can't pay attention to both of them at the same time. And then the bills are due. Where's the money come from? Well, the original one that was making all the money, right? And then all of a sudden the bill comes due, and let's make a third one, see what happens. And then the second and the third one keep eating the first one, and before you know it, you're busting your ass making the first one work. It's making all the money, and it's going all out the window for the second and third one that aren't holding their own weight, right? So multiple streams of income is a fallacy, right? Like unless it's a true hands-off structure. Right? Like an affiliate program where you sell somebody else's stuff and they're responsible for delivering it and they have to do everything, right? So I know I've given this example before, but there was the hair salon. People love their hair dryer. The hair dryer box is yay big. They can't keep more than like 3 of them in the inventory without taking up all the space for everything else.
Right.
They sell the Amazon affiliate link, boom. Right?
Yeah, that's still an activity within the existing business that just adds new revenue to the business.
It's an upsell, downsell, cross-sell, something that makes sense, that's relevant to the main source. It's not like, let's sell tennis rackets and spaghetti. It's like, the hell does that have to do? And that doesn't, unless you want to string your tennis racket with spaghetti, that'd be really awkward. But you only get one good hit.
My brain immediately creates one and sees its properties in my head. I'm like, I'm hitting meatballs with it right now.
There you go.
It's messy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so good. So get your business, just multiple streams of income within your own business, or obviously like buying stock with dividends. That doesn't take your attention off your business.
Right. But focus on the one, get it to like, $3, $5, $10 million. And then once you've got that, then make the decision, do you want to make another baby? Right. Because essentially that's what a business is. It's a baby, and you have to sit there and nurture it, grow it. When it's small and on its fledgling legs, it still sucks. It doesn't make its own money. You have to do all the traffic, do all the work by yourself.
Wait till your kid's gone off to college to have the second one.
Well, it depends if you like sleep or not. We're not. After we got 2, that's it. No more.
All right.
So any more, they outnumber us. I'm scared.
Yeah. It was. How old are your kids, by the way?
14 and 13 as of this recording now.
So. Yeah. Just I finally got to meet them the other day, and they're definitely teenagers.
Yeah. There you go. All to just stay at the phone. Not paying any attention to anybody else.
Yeah. Say hi to Dan.
Pretty much. There you go.
Okay.
That's how teenagers work now. So there you go.
So now we got here, it says fail forward fast. 4-hour WW. Fast. What does this mean? I have no idea.
So don't be afraid to make mistakes and screw up, right? So when new year, new business means new mistakes, right? And to get to success, you have to make mistakes, right? You can't make an omelet without cracking an egg. So you gotta make the mistake. So fail forward fast means, screw up fast, screw up cheap, screw up quick, try not to screw up the same way twice, right? And if you can do that, hey, look, you all of a sudden have a profitable, functional business that actually works. The 4-hour WW stands for 4-hour work week, right? Oh. And the 4-hour work week teaches you to rapidly test against hypotheses. So, I presume that people are going to want to buy X, whether the X is the service or this product or whatever it is, right? And so the 4-hour work week, the fail forward fast thing is build a site, spend a little bit of ad dollars, so immediate dollars, so Google, YouTube, Facebook, just throw traffic at this thing and see if actually people come click on the buy button, right? Even if you don't have the thing yet, if they actually click on the buy button and say, hey, sorry, we're out of stock, put your name here and we'll throw you in the email list. So when we do have stuff, yeah, there you go. If you're spending, let's call it $5, $10 a day on ads, throwing it to your website that's a test site that the product doesn't even exist. If you get like 10, 15, 100 orders, hey, better go make that thing now, right?
Yeah.
But at least because too many people go ass backwards and they go the other way. They go, if I build it, they will come. And they build it and no one comes. And then they go bankrupt because they spent all their money on some crappy board game that nobody wants. Right? It's just like, well, ouch. Wait, nobody wanted this. Oh, but it's such a good get, and nobody cares. Right? So until fail forward fast means test it, sell it before it exists. Give the initial crowd that shows support and love to you some crazy discount. Use their willingness to be the guinea pigs to make the product better, and they'll feel heard. And these are the fast implementers, so they'll love you forever because you took what they said in consideration. And then all of a sudden you've got a better product, right? People actually bought this damn thing, and you got support, right? So as opposed to, like, I think it's crazy how movies these days are made, right? Think about how
I'm about to learn some secrets.
A movie is kept in secret, literally, kept in secret. No one knows who's creating it. No one knows who's filming it. No one knows what the script is. No one knows who the actors are until, a couple weeks before the damn movie is released. And then with great fanfare and craziness, they explode it to the world, and they hope to God they recoup the $1 billion they spent making the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's dumb, right? So if you look at, and this gets into a bit of the weeds here, but Web3. So Web3 is all the NFT space, crypto space, that kind of arena. What those guys are doing is completely backwards as to what the traditional methodology of creation of film and creatives were. What they do is they build an audience. They involve the audience in the creation of the world, the creation of the characters, the creation of the stories and the arcs. And because people are part of these communities prior to, all of a sudden when the damn thing launches, they've already got a few thousand guaranteed ticket sales, right? And in involving the community as part of the project, sometimes the community funds the project because they just want to be part of it.
This actually gives me the perfect excuse to talk about Star Wars.
There you go.
Which is kind of the opposite.
The Star Wars lead-in.
And so, by the way, so here for one of my Christmas presents I got was a Razor Crest pen topper.
I saw that kind of flipping around when you were holding it. That's awesome.
I was in a
Mandalorian.
Yeah. I have this theory that they did both parts of the wrong parts of those two strategies you just said. Which is, everyone knew they were making new Star Wars movies. They announced that. Everyone got involved. Every internet forum in the entire world got involved discussing what the plot's going to be, who they think this is, who they think that is. I think the problem then became that the filmmakers, for some reason, decided that they couldn't do the plots or the things that the audience had discussed.
All right.
You know what I mean? It's just a theory. I don't have anything to back this up other than theory that, people are like, oh, it should be about this, or it's going to be about that story, or, there's established stories from the books that came out, and they decided, no, we have to do something different. We have to surprise the audience. The audience can't see it coming.
and that turned out well.
And because every single good idea was discussed on internet forums, and they said we have to surprise the audience and do something different, they ended up turning in ideas that were not the best ideas because all the good ones were taken by internet forums, and they turned in some real stinkers.
And then they zagged when they should have zigged, and the speeder hit a tree. Right? So
yeah, exactly. I actually just rewatched what's it called, The Rise of Skywalker. I saw it in theaters, and I just rewatched it for the first time a couple days ago over the holidays, and it's way worse than I remember.
I those are forbidden. No, I don't. We don't talk about those. Not in this house. It's like no. If it's Christmas, we watch Die Hard and stop talking about Star Wars.
There you go.
Die Hard.
Okay, so now you mentioned the scientific method of business here. What's that?
So the scientific method is something you learn in like grade 3, grade 4, right? You have a hypothesis, you have some observations, you take a guess as to what's going to happen, you run your experiment with a control, and then you see what happens, right? So that scientific method on business is exactly how you should be approaching business. Hey, are people going to buy this thing? Hey, do you think people would be interested in this product or service or whatever the hell it is? Test it, right? See if you have buyers. This is exactly what we're talking about here. Like let's build a story together with the crowd. Like there was Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, had this one project for a book, and he built every chapter live with the audience. And he gave them credit in the book because they gave this feedback or gave this feedback or whatever. And the hilarious thing is you could download the entire book one chapter at a time for free over the internet. And then we take that chapter down, put the next one up, and then everybody would give their feedback, and then we just repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. And the craziness is, again, this followed the same structure as the Web3 guys. He built an audience. They were now devotees of the book because they were mentioned as a contributor to the book. You got to buy it now because their name's in the book. And now they're going to buy it for their aunt and their uncle and their mom and their dad and their brother and their dog and everyone else. And so what happens is they buy 30 copies of the damn book. It just hit bestseller status like this automatically because they involved the audience, because they did that, and they were using the scientific method and the 4-hour work week where they rapidly tested stuff quickly to see what worked, what didn't work, right? And then they, lo and behold, listen to the audience, and the audience said, hey, we want this. We want to learn about that. Cool. Here's what you want to learn about, right? Oh, thank you for the suggestion. We'll slap your name in the credits. You can download the chapter for free, or you can download a part of history that you helped create. And people will always gravitate towards wanting to be part of that bigger thing. If you look up, what was this guy's name? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the very first thing on the bottom is just make sure you don't die in a hole, right? So that's the first thing. So because you've got the psychological, I need to make sure that there's food and shelter and and then there's safety. I'm not going to be eaten by like wolves outside. And then you've got social and esteem and self-actualization and then beyond, right? And that esteem and social, where you want to be part of something bigger than yourself, plays really well into these things that we talked about, right? Where I want to be part of something bigger than me. Hey, I helped write this chapter of the book. Now I have to buy this book because I'm part of it. Right. So there's your 4-hour work week, quick tests, and scientific method. I think this will go well. Let's see what the audience says. Oh, look, the audience loved it. Great. Let's go in that direction.
Nice. Quick technical point interjecting here. My light is flickering for some reason. Can you see that on camera?
A little bit, depending. Every now and again, yes.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, your light turned off, and like you had this cool light side, dark side look to you because you got the window on one side and nothing. Right?
Yeah.
So back to Star Wars. Are you light side or dark side?
I just thought people might think I had a campfire, an actual campfire going instead of one like on the screen.
Turn on your lightsaber so I can see what side you're on.
Yeah. Let me see the blade.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go through this next one really quick, and then we're on to the hack of the week. Follow proven methods, find proven mentors.
Well, there's nothing new under the sun, really, truly, honestly. At the end of the day, nothing new under the sun, right? Even if you're making some brand new software that doesn't exist yet, right? there was probably a way to do it manually. Right? You just made it faster, cheaper, more efficient, more effective, blah, blah, blah. So that being said, I mean, following a proven method or following a proven mentor is a faster way of launching your new business, right? And how do you do that? Well, go find somebody who's already walked that path, right? Like, Dan, I could just Google your phone number or look at my phone and find you and call you. Or I can just start dialing numbers at random. Hey, is this Dan? Hey, is this Dan? Hey, is this Dan? Until I finally find you. Right? Yeah. What are the chances? You do the math for the 649. It's about the same, right? Because there's just the same number of numbers. Until I find you. I mean, I can just look up your number and dial you, or I can just randomly press buttons until I hit it. Follow proven methods. When you've seen another business do well, monkey see, monkey do, right? Yeah, it's a new business, but I have somebody who's talking to me about a new pest control business. Pest control has been around since the dawn of time, right? So follow what the other successful pest control businesses are doing. Just pay attention, right? Go back to that scientific method we talked about earlier. Okay, well, I think they're doing well because of this. Let's try it. See what happens. Oh, look, it worked. There you go. Do some more of that. Right?
But at the same time, you're saying, at the same time, you're also saying you want to be the best at something. So you don't want to be just another pest company.
You don't want to just be another pest company, but so be the best kind of pest company where you specialize in a particular type of pest, for example, right? Or you specialize in a specific type of equipment that is weird and unwieldy and only a handful of people know how to use, right? You get really good at those things. You're the go-to person. Other pest control companies will call you because, hey, there's a cougar in the area. You have that crazy net thing that catches the cat. We don't have that stuff. We have stuff that kills cockroaches. Cockroach versus the cougar is a big difference, right? So, that thing might eat us. So can you please, pest control guy with the big ass net, come help us and save us all? There you go. There's your specificity. You're still pest control, but you can also do animal control, right? You got the big ass net. Some places have instead of outbreaks of termites, some places have outbreaks of snakes. That's where you put up the Indiana Jones hat and you go, I hate snakes. So
my girlfriend a few years ago, my girlfriend had a bit of a bed bug thing she had to deal with. And she got so familiar with bed bugs and just learned everything there was to know about bed bugs that when the exterminator company she was hired offered her a job. Can you come work for us? You were so familiar with bed bugs. So yeah, specialize.
Yeah, specialize because then it becomes your niche, it becomes your thing, and everybody sends you clients because they know that you're the best at it.
Yeah. So I don't think we got too far beyond just picking the right business and maybe testing it. We're not even getting into hiring or anything like that.
But this is a new business. In a new business, you get started, you get cracking, you pick the right, because choosing the right path, right, is probably one of the more important things. Because if you screw this up, guess what you have to go back and do again? Choose the right path.
Choose the right path, yeah.
So if you end up picking the wrong thing, I don't care how much stuff you do or how much marketing you do, and you hate the business. Oh, look, I made $1 million, but I want to kill myself. That's not good for you either, right? Your sanity is worth something, right?
But I guess you got to balance those factors of wanting to pick the right path, not be on the wrong path from the get-go, but also not wanting to try because you're afraid of failing.
Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure, right? It's one part courage, one part stupidity, right? To be an entrepreneur, truly. I mean, you have to have a little bit of crazy. You can't waste it, right? So
every business you need to have the know-how and the stupidity all at once. You have to have, you might say, an Earl and an idiot.
There you go. You have to be brave and stupid enough to do it at the same time.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're running out of time. Let's hop right into. You got it ready? Hop right into ready. the. Do it.
Oh wait, I gotta share. Oh, yeah, there you go. I pushed the button. It showed up on my side, but it didn't show up on your side.
Not here. Okay, ready
again.
Here we go.
There we go.
Hack of the week.
There we go. Hack of the week.
What is the hack of the week?
Hack of the week is some tools to get started. Okay, so one of the things you need to do is you got to name your business, right? You're going to name the baby, right? So there's 3 websites I'm going to give you guys that will help you get off the ground and do this thing faster, right? So because I've met lots of people who spent months and months and months naming the damn business and creating a logo for the business. This guy was like one of the smartest people I've ever met. He's an engineer. He spent 8 months making the business card. 8 months. Nobody cares that much. I showed him the crappy business card I made for one of the businesses that we were just getting off the ground. It was one of those crappy perforated, just print it yourself, staples, make your own crappy business card things. He's like, wow, this is the worst cards I've ever seen. Yeah, but I'm already making over $100,000. He's like, what? Well, what have you been doing the last 8 months? Look at my pretty card. Hey, your card looks better than mine, but I'm making sales already, right? So at which point I hired a proper graphic designer, and then my card was better than his. He's like, ah, damn it. We did it in the wrong order, right? So there's 3 really good websites I'll give you. First one is called Namecheck, namechk.com.
CHK?
CHK. So you type in Namecheck, CHK. You type in whatever you think you're going to name this thing, and it looks and it finds out all the different domains and all the different domain extensions to see if it exists. And then you push the next button, and it looks at all the different social channels, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever else you want to check. And it'll check to see if the name is existing or available. And that is the reason why I named the website for Lily the Birdie, spelled Birdie versus Birdy, because Birdy was taken. Right? And Birdie with IE is still acceptable spelling. Man, it sounds cute. Lily, Birdie, there you go. So there you go. So Namecheck found me all those things. If I didn't know what to name the damn thing afterwards, there's a website called Squad Help. And what Squad Help does is you tell them what you're going to do, and they'll come up with names for you. If you're crappy at naming things like me, I'm terrible at naming things. Usually my business partner ends up naming things. Well, you named this podcast.
That's true.
Right? So, and I'm like, no, let's not call it that. And then you pitched it to the group. The whole damn team erupted in laughter. And we're like, I guess we're calling it that.
If there's one thing, if there's one thing I know how to do in this life, it's get a laugh.
There you go. Absolutely. So, Squad Help will let you make a naming contest. You throw it on a prize. You only pay the guy who wins, and then you can use that name and register the domain name and use all the stuff. And then the last thing I have is called 99 Designs. So if you're terrible at making decisions for like logos and stuff, do 99 Designs. You give them some semblance of a pick this color. Here's the logos I like. Here's the logos I don't like. And it's called 99 Designs because you'll get 99 designs out of this thing. You get a whole bunch of people making the logo. You go, I like this. I don't like this. I like this. I don't like this. And they will shift during the contest to only give you stuff that you like. And you just pick one and you pay the one you like. And by the time you're done this process, you save yourself 8 months of that engineer, plugging away at this perfect business card.
Is it kind of like that thing in the first Incredibles movie where the guy's pitching the robots up against the superheroes? And one loses, one wins. Yeah, right.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like that, where like it's okay. How about this one? How about this one? How about this one? And so you just keep making them better and better and better for every phase you go through. And you can even send your friends to go check out your contest and vote on the ones that they like the best. Right? If you want to involve friends or staff or coworkers or whatever. And that's how you use both 99 Designs and Squad Help. So that you literally put on the contest. And yeah, there you kind of go. So there's your hack. It gets you a logo, gets you a business name, gets you a brand. You can pick your Facebook page name and this and that and everything else, and lets you know if this stuff exists as a domain name. So that's the hack of the week.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, I guess that brings us to a close then. You got the outro music ready?
I do, and I'm hitting share this time, so this is horrible this time.
Even better. So before you play that, thanks everybody for tuning in. We hope that if you're starting a new business this year, that this has been helpful. And stay tuned for future episodes and watch our back catalog. And thank you, Earl.
Thank you, Dan. Let's go. Here we go.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Yep.